actually on my way to head and meet race car friends. I don't know if you guys are familiar with his YouTube channel or not, but he actually has a Civic Type R and a GTI, a Golf GTI. So I'm gonna meet up with him. He wanted to talk about this car. All right, so today we're here with race car friends. So I don't know if you know him or not, but I'll be dropping a link down below for him. So he makes some awesome content. He has a Civic Type R, he has his GTI, and he just goes around and does a lot of reviews too. So, but today we're gonna go over the GR Corolla and the GTI, go over some of the comparisons on if this car is any better or worse than that car. So let's hop in. Let's look at the interior. Obviously, if you guys are familiar with my car, the interior, it's a very nice interior, I think, personally. I mean, with the Alcantara, blue stitching, leather, and all that other good stuff. Very subtle interior compared to some other cars like the Type R and everything have a very red interior, which some people might like, but to me, I'd rather stick with the black interior. So if we have decent leg space in the front, and then some decent leg space, and obviously you can fit a car seat nice and easy in these cars. So let's hop over to the GTI, and let's take a look at leg space here. And so obviously, race car friends, he was just driving this car, and he is 6'6", so he is massive here, and so he has the seat pretty much all the way back, which then you have no leg room in the back.
I'll move it up front a little bit to be devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I'll put it to where you drive. I think, yeah, you drive like right about there.
So if he puts it where I would be driving as a 5'10" person, you got decent leg room. I wouldn't put a lot of full-grown adults in here. And also, too, you have 5 seats. Yes. The Type R does not have 5 seats, does it? It does not, no. So that is one thing, too, that the GR, Corolla, and the GTI have 5 seats versus the Type R. Right. You only get the 4 seats, which it depends on how you use it. If you're going to use it like a family car, then the Type R is not much of a family car unless if you only have 1, maybe 2 kids. Yep. So, but overall, the GTI, if you like the plaid seats, it is a cool accent, but I'm not personally a big fan of them. But overall, the quality of the interior, I have to say, is probably a little bit better than the GR Corolla. Obviously, the GR Corolla is a Corolla by the end of the day, so everything is based off of a normal $20,000-$25,000 car. So let's look at the trunk space. So he has a bunch of camera gear in the back, but you got decent space in the back. And then let's come over to the GR Corolla. You lose some depth versus on the GTI. So the depth of this is not as nice as that, and I think the space is probably a little bit bigger in the GTI. So, but you do get nice little cubby spaces and all the other good stuff here, but overall, I think the GTI would probably take a little bit better cargo area and maybe a little bit more room in the interior as well. Yeah, but it definitely is a more refined interior than the GTI. But we're gonna go on a test drive, and I'm gonna give you my initial thoughts on what I think about the GTI versus the GR. I love the GR because it's raw, so we will actually see how this feels compared to the GR. I know power-wise, the GR has 300 horsepower and 270-something foot-pounds of torque. The GTI
has 241 horsepower, I believe, and 273 foot-pounds of torque.
So torque-wise, they should feel about the same. Power-wise, I guess the GR would take it on that. So let's hop into the interior and get my first thoughts on the GTI.
All right, so we got Brandon, first time in a GTI startup. So if you want to increase the AC, you could just go there. And yeah, we'll go a little bit more because it is hot.
It is hot.
All right, and then exit out.
So just initial thoughts on this car already is I don't like that everything is implemented into the screen.
Because you have physical buttons, and that's another selling point for the GR Corolla.
Yeah, it's still old school versus this car. It's all modern tech and everything like that.
So I had it turned off, but oh yeah, I got it. All right, so I do have do have like physical buttons for the volume, you know.
Yeah.
But,
which is a plus.
Yeah.
But that whole AC thing is super nice, just to be able to touch a few buttons and you're already good to go.
Yep, I agree.
All right, so how do you take it out of park? Do you
just push down? Yep.
I need to have the brake in?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see it shows the song.
How do you get into, does this have a reverse lock now? Or no?
So reverse, I think you push down.
You gotta, okay.
And then push over.
Okay,
yeah,
all right. I just want to make sure I wasn't going into reverse.
Right. All right, so setting off.
Very smooth, I have to say.
Yeah.
It's a very smooth car. And the clutch, it feels about the same stiffness-wise.
Right.
As the GR Corolla.
Okay. So not too much difference there.
But obviously I've only driven this for like a minute or whatever.
Right.
But the steering and the body of the GR Corolla feel better than this car.
Yeah.
So like this car, there's somewhat of like body roll. And
there
the
definitely
steering wheel
is.
just feels loose.
Yes.
I don't know if there's a sport mode in this car or not. Or...
There is. Yeah, so it's actually in sport already.
Okay. Okay, well then if that's, what I like about the GR is when you put it in sport mode, it really stiffens the steering.
Everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're going to be the first to know this. So this feels different than stock because it's on lowering springs right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it feels, so I actually think it feels better with the stock springs. It feels a little bit tighter. It feels a little bit more loosey-goosey with the...
So it would have felt even more loose?
No, it actually felt tighter with the stock.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt a little bit tighter. Like, I don't know if it's because it's still settling or, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't feel as sturdy as it did with the stock springs. But I think it's the sacrifice you give up for it looks a little bit better because it's lower.
Yeah,
you know?
that is true.
Yeah.
Intake wise, it sounds nice.
Yeah, so just the tune and the springs is the only things I've done to this. So
okay, and I wish I would have almost driven this without the tune, but you're saying it feels about the same?
It's almost identical.
Okay.
Like, I would say in some ways it feels slower.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but everything felt better stock. It felt better with the stock springs. It felt better with the stock tune. You know, I don't know if it's just,
and I feel the same way. As like I wanted to lower the GR Corolla, but I'm like, the suspension I think feels really good, and I don't want to ruin it.
Exactly.
And so it's like I plan on keeping suspension wise in the GR Corolla fairly stock for probably at least a year or so I can see how I like it.
Yeah.
And then maybe potentially either put lowering springs. I don't know if I would want to go coilovers because that almost ruins the ride quality.
Exactly.
Too much.
Exactly.
But this car so far, it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
And do you know, is it fake engine noise coming into the cabin here?
I don't think there is, but if there is, it's very little because because it really sounds that good on the outside, like when you get on it. All right. So getting ready to do your first highway run in a GTI. 2024 Volkswagen Golf GTI 380 edition. I know that's a mouthful, but I had to get it all out there. So yeah, and that's another thing. Like, well, you've seen the videos. We got
it's definitely a nice fancy car. I love everything about it.
Right.
The only thing I don't like are the seats. I don't like the plaid really.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's one of the things that I love the most about it. Like, I love the plaid because it's so different.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like the only car I think that has that type of seating. You know? That's where you feel the torque a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely, I guess up high, yeah, you definitely feel a lot more torque.
So with city driving and stuff, it's
very tame.
Yes.
So once you get over like 4,000 RPM, like it definitely
comes
makes
alive.
Yeah.
I agree. And the thing is, with the stock tune, it felt more aggressive. Like, I think like Cobb really smoothed it out, you know?
Yeah. Cabin noise too, I guess if you want to speak that, this is way quieter than the GR.
Yes. Well, yeah, I think people forget the purpose of the GR Corolla is really still a rally car. Like it's based on a rally car, so it's not going to have the same like cabin noise, and just, you know, even the ride quality is different, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to kind of go off road, whereas this is meant for the street.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and I can see that, and it definitely is a refined car, and you can definitely tell it. Versus the GR Corolla, very rugged.
Right.
The shifts are even clunky. I mean, but it feels. I don't know. I mean.
It's a fun car.
Yeah.
Like from the little bit that I drove it, I felt like it was just a really, really fun car. You know.
Versus this, like, I wouldn't mind daily driving this car. Way more than the GR Corolla.
Yeah, that's the same thing with the Type R. Like the Type R is basically like a garage queen. Like this is the workhorse. Anytime I need to go anywhere, do anything, I'm in the GTI. You know?
Yeah. That's got a heated steering wheel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, heated steering wheel. I think the GR Corolla has one
it does.
too.
I mean, but it's like the most useless here, at least in Florida.
In Florida, yeah. I mean, there are some times during winter when it gets a little bit crazy.
Yeah, but I bought the GR Corolla. I think I bought my first one in May, so I've never actually used it in the cold yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah. Our winter starts in December.
Yeah. And ends in January.
Oh, man. Actually, no, I'd say sometimes it goes to February. After February, we're done.
Yeah, you might get a couple other cold fronts coming in.
Yeah. Florida is such a funny place. So there's like a gas station over here, so we'll just pull off and switch.
Okay.
And I'll just give you like a quick what it feels like, you know?
And the brakes, too, they actually feel pretty good.
Yeah, the brakes are solid. The brakes are solid.
I think the GR Corolla has 4 piston. These are they look the same.
Yeah, I think these are also 4 pistons up front.
I just got done meeting with race car friends and trying out his GTI. And I definitely have to say, it's a really nice, refined car if you want a decent daily driver. But it's not nearly as fun as this car. So, not only, I mean, power-wise, sure, this car makes way more horsepower, but the torque figures are about the same, and that's usually what you feel. So, after driving it, and then he drove it too, it does feel decent at higher range, like 5,000 to 6,000 RPM, somewhere around there. You feel like you get all your torque, but it's just, this car, I don't know what it is about it that I might be biased here, but I still would rather prefer the GR Corolla rather than the GTI. So maybe next time we'll meet up with him and compare it to the Type R. But as of right now, I definitely plan on keeping this car, and I don't think I would get rid of it, especially for a Golf. But comment down below what you guys think with the GR Corolla versus the GTI, and whether or not you think the GTI is any better, or if it's even worth comparing the two. But I agree that they are both hot hatches type of thing. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.